And tonight, my co-host is with me, Not a Spy. Say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone.
And Not a Spy and I, we're both going to discuss why American conservative women, especially Republican women, why they're so undateable. So, Not a
Yeah,
Spy, give me your opinion. Why do you think a lot of these Republican conservative women in America are so undateable?
that's a spicy meatball. I think it's a multifaceted thing, like everything. Everything we talk about is a multifaceted thing from my side. But I think a large part of it is the what we can call, I hate using this term, but we all know what I mean when I say this. What we call conservatism or anything like right wingish is counterculture these days, right? And women are inherently, they're very agreeable as part of their nature, right? That's like basic matter of science. That's their psychology, right? And so when you have conservative women, you have one of three options. Either the tolerable one, which is the least common one, that is her father was conservative or her family is conservative, so she grew up in that environment. That's the one that's fine. That's normal. We're fine with that one. We love those. The other two are her last boyfriend was conservative or right wing. Um, and the third one is a woman who is inherently disagreeable, like her temperament is disagreeable, right? Because guys, we're supposed to be disagreeable. Like it's in our nature, we can kind of live on our own. That's how we evolved, right? Women have evolved to be far more agreeable as like a survival mechanism. So when you have a woman adopting counterculture, uh, political views or ideology on their own, they're odd. They're odd, and that normally tends to come with strange tendencies or undesirable tendencies for dating. If you're looking for a solid relationship, a woman who is inherently disagreeable might want to avoid that. That's where we get like, the kind of punkish isn't the right word, but like the same women who will get exposed tattoos, very disagreeable. And like there's the studies out that proves people who get exposed tattoos or tattoos in general tend to be more disagreeable. They tend to be more independent minded, or they want to be independent
Independent.
minded, right?
Independent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean that someone is independent minded, but it means that someone wants to be presented or wants to be more independent minded, right? There's plenty of people covered in tattoos who are not independent minded, but I digress. So you'll have these women who are kind of acting out of the norm of their nature. Therefore, they adopt a counterculture such as right wingism or conservatism. That's why I think it, the two out of the three options is a woman acting odd or acting kind of out of their nature in a way, I guess. Well, I guess there's the fourth option too, which is I'm just going to come out of the gates when a washed up woman realizes that she can't be I don't know if I can say the word hoeing.
You can just spell it out, I guess.
Yes, Hoeing around. um, when they realize they can't be doing that forever, and then they realize, I'm going to stop going to raves and I'm going to be a prim and proper, traditional, a trad wife in a sundress. We all
Oh,
see through that.
so,
We all see through that.
well, thing is, unfortunately, a lot of conservative women and Republican women don't even want to be trad wives either. So,
Yeah. I mean, I, so hot take, I agree with Sam Hyde on the whole trad wife thing. A lot of guys want a trad wife because they have this sort of like fetish.
yeah, it's
And
more of a
they,
fantasy they developed in their mind.
yeah, that's a good way to put it. So then they go out searching for these sort of like trad con women who they have the veneer of it, of being traditional and conservative, but it's almost like a sort of like a sort of role playing, a sort of like lingerie that they wear just because that's what the guy wants. That's what I think it is. A lot of the tradcon women aren't even like, they're not authentically tradcon. I hate when people use the like, oh, it has to be authentic, but you know what I mean when I say that.
Yeah.
They do it because it's stylish, because
Mhm.
their last
Yeah.
boyfriend wanted to do that.
Okay. Yeah. And so now Republican women, the problem with Republican women is that they're not even really conservative.
Mm-hmm,
Would
mm-hmm.
you agree with that?
I would agree, definitely. Which it's because the American conservative is still at heart a liberal.
Mhm.
They're not a conservative. They base themselves off of the liberal
Well, what's
Enlightenment.
interesting is that a lot of these anti-feminist Republican women are li literally the biggest feminists in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, like we're not a Muslim country. I'm not going to have some man tell me what to do. Like I'm a strong, independent, conservative woman. Okay, so just drop the conservative part and you're just a strong, independent, cringe feminist.
Yeah, like I said, it's far more of a fashion statement. A lot of the time, it's far more of a fashion statement than anything. It's like saying I'm punk. You know,
Mhm.
it's a counterculture uh
Well, like
appeal more.
American conservatism is not really conservatism. It's just it's
Yeah.
just another form of liberalism.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like for example, you and I, we're not some basic normie cookie cutter Republican conservatives anymore. Like we like we went further. We are actually far right. And for us, and we admit it, we're not hiding the fact that we're right wing. And so
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, so like I tell Republicans, yeah, you guys are Republicans, but you are not right wing. And, oh, they get so offended. What do you mean I'm not right wing? I'm anti-liberal. I'm anti-feminist, anti-SGW. Okay, good. Me too. But guess what? Well, hashtag me too.
Oh God, look what you've done. Look what you've done.
But- So, anyways, like, yeah, I'm against all of that. But the thing is, you want to give them the right to be whatever they want. I don't.
Well, yeah, the
That's why I'm
problem
actually
is,
conservative. You guys are not. And
yeah,
so
the problem is
a lot of these
they believe.
Republican women, they're not really conservative. They're just classical liberals who
Mhm.
think they're conservative.
Yeah, ask. I mean, goodness gracious, ask a hundred conservatives if they've read Hobbes, and they'll be like, "What? You know, Leviathan? You know, a formative book in like the creation of this country." Ask them if they've read that. They won't even know what you're talking about. Wonderful book, by the way. I highly recommend. Um, the like they don't. How do I put it? It's all. It's kind of like a top layer of paint on a house. That's what a lot of modern conservatism is. It's a top layer of paint, and it's completely ignorant of like everything that came into this country, everything that pooled together, you know, all of the philosophy, the ideals, the thoughts that came into this country. They have no grasp of like that.
Yeah, so like if you ask a Republican woman, would you be okay with repealing the 19th Amendment? What would be the typical answer?
They probably wouldn't even know what the 19th Amendment is. But
Oh
if they
no, like
did,
that's probably one of the few amendments that they know about and that they agree with, right?
yeah,
So First Amendment, Second Amendment, and 19th Amendment.
if you ask them that they knew what you were talking about, they say like, "Oh my God, no! How could you? That's terrible. That's awful."
Yeah, like oh, women deserve the right to vote. Why?
Yeah,
Like the founding
don't you
fathers,
know that the
like the
founding
found like
fathers were
yeah, the founding
feminists?
fathers literally said like there's a certain group of people they have the right to vote, and voting it's not even a right, it's more of a privilege. It's like they have the
Yeah,
privilege to vote. And then like and then the feminist movement tried to turn it into a right. And now corrupt, weak soy boy men decided to, by the way, it was men who allowed the 19th Amendment to exist.
Simps, my friend.
Yeah, yeah, yes, it was basically a bunch of soy boy men in the beginning of the 20th century. They decided, hey, yeah, let's try to get more votes. How do we achieve this? Well, we convince a bunch of women that we will actually fight for their rights and they'll vote for our party. Right. And there you go. You have the 19th Amendment.
So, honest question: Do you? And I'm mad at myself. I don't have. Oh, I could actually look this up. But I have a lot of stuff on my laptop, so I can't look it up right now. Which political party do you think passed the nine or like did most of the fighting for the 19th Amendment? I would be willing to bet. You know the answer, don't you?
Yeah, it was it wasn't the Democrats, was it?
It wasn't the Democrats, was
It
it?
was like, are you sure it wasn't the woke SJW Democrats? Are you sure they don't pass the 19th Amendment?
Oh no, baby, what is you doing? It was the Republicans, wasn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately, it was the Republicans who passed the 19th Amendment.
Every single time. There's not a single time that it's not them. Actually, the NFA. The NFA was the Democrats. It wasn't the Republicans.
Okay.
The one time.
Although, hold on, Ronald Reagan, one of the worst presidents for gun rights, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
But
I
Republican boomers and Republican conservative women, especially around our age, millennial Republican women, like they will literally praise Ronald Reagan as this beacon of capitalism. Yeah, but he's also very bad on gun rights. Like, just admit that.
yeah. Just look up for those who don't know what we're talking about. Long story short, there you could purchase and register a so machine guns were uh, newly purchasable items pre Ronald Reagan. And it's like any other NFA item, National Firearms Act item. It was a $200 tax stamp, which when it was created was equivalent to like $8,000. It was a lot of money when it was created, but inflation has changed that. So you could purchase a brand new machine gun and register it for $200. Ronald Reagan closed the registry. So if you ever wonder why you can't get more like new cool stuff, Ronald Reagan, he's the one
Yeah,
to blame.
if you're wondering why you need to apply for an FFL and and why the government is going to be tracking you like your entire life
Yep.
if you have an FFL, it's because Ronald Reagan is a great Republican president.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, actually,
he's so anti-communist, he pulled a communist move.
that one was Woodrow Wilson, who I think it was Woodrow Wilson who did the Gun Control Act, and Franklin Delano Roosevelt passed the National Firearms Act in 1936, if I recall right. So those two Democrats, if I remember right, they started it. But Ronald Reagan drove the nail into the coffin of the Second Amendment. He also passed.
For a guy who's making fun of the communists for not allowing their citizens to carry guns.
Mhm.
Oh, by the way, when the Black Panther Party and when he was governor of California, you know the story, right? With the Black
Yes,
Panther
of
Party
course.
when they were kind of trying to kind of storm the California was it State House or something like that. And Ronald Reagan, he's the one who started to push for more gun control in California. It was because he's worried for his safety, you know?
Weird,
Yeah,
weird. The Republic.
interesting. The
Mhm.
Republican guy making fun of
I'm.
communists for not allowing the people to have firearms. But then all of a sudden, when the people grab firearms in California, all of a sudden, oh, no, 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 no gun rights for you.
Ronald Reagan. I'm catching a racial thing. Is it racial, Mr. Reagan?
Wait,
It's
yeah, it sounds like it was, wasn't it? But wait a minute, we're the
oh my
party of
god.
Lincoln. Didn't we free the slaves?
Good lord. I
Or maybe you just freed a bunch of new voters. That's what really happens. I mean, that's what happened.
any
Post-Civil War, what happened? Oh, all of a sudden, this new class of men, by the way, men still, not women, but men, this new group of men was also allowed to vote, limited, but still allowed to vote, right? And like I'm thinking, they're always the Republicans. They're always searching for new voters. And right now, I guess you could say the roles are kind of reversed, and it's the Democrats who are searching for new voters, south of the border. But we're talking about originally the Republicans were never the true conservatives; they're always the liberals. And even now, like
Yeah, they're
you can see the results of this liberalism of these Republicans. For example, famous author Rachel Wilson. Here's her book right here, Feminism. Occult Feminism, The Secret History of Women's Liberation. So I recommend you guys read this
that's
book. She's
that
self-published,
book
huh?
gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Well, it's against feminism, and it's written by Rachel Wilson, an actual conservative, because she's not some weird boomer Republican. She's not some millennial Republican. She's not a Reaganite. She's an actual conservative, traditional person. And and she's married, so she's taken. Sorry, not a spy. So, anyways,
The
so anyways,
list has fallen. Billions, my friend. Billions must lift.
so anyways, so the author of this book, Rachel Wilson, she brought up an example. I was watching a stream with her and another YouTuber, and she's talking about her family. Now, Rachel Wilson, forgive me if I'm like not properly retelling the story. But from what I remember, Rachel Wilson and her husband Andrew, they go to a family gathering, her family, and her family is some kind of Republicanish, conservative type of people. And so you would think, these are kind of normal people, right? And so her husband is there with her, and they're having some kind of barbecue outside. And what she does is that she makes a plate for her husband. She gives it to her husband, and her family members who are Republicans, conservative people, they get offended and they ask her what? He cannot make his own plate? What is he, like a little boy or something? And uh yeah, and they're trying to act as if she's like acting like a slave or something. And
You
she's
see
thinking, no,
this? You
no,
see this?
what?
This is what I got. This is what I got.
Yeah, and so yeah, like they made it awkward. Like she goes, "Well, no, like I just made a plate for my husband. What's wrong with that?" Right? And like they're like, "Oh no, like you should not be doing this. He could do it himself." Blah 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 blah. Right? The whole personal responsibility retardation, the
Occult
hypocritical personal
feminism, you said?
responsibility. Speaking of personal responsibility, Republicans, yeah, like the social security checks, enjoy those because we're not going to have them. When we become your age, we're not going to have them. So yeah, so much for
Oh,
that
yeah.
personal responsibility, right?
I'm gonna have to give that book a read. That
Yeah.
sounds very
So
interesting. And
anyways, yeah, so Rachel Wilson just was hanging out with conservative Republican members of her family, and
mhm.
she fixed a plate for her husband. They acted like it's the biggest form of enslavement like ever. And she's like, no, like I'm not a feminist, right? I'm going to make a plate for my husband. What's wrong with that?
Completely. The thing
Yeah.
I know, I don't know the entire context of the book, but it sounds like completely without context too. She does that, a loving wife,
Well,
and then
the story's not in the book. It's just she was talking about a story
oh,
on a stream.
okay.
Yeah.
So completely like I don't know the full context, but it sounds like she just does that, loving wife, right? As anyone does for someone they care about, and people are offended.
And
Like
these are
my what?
Republicans. These are
Yeah,
conservative Republicans who are offended.
my heavens, goodness gracious! There, I can't even remember who said it. And I've heard it said by many people, but conservatives are just liberals going the speed limit, my friend. Like they're the first person to whip out the like I'm not a snowflake thing. What does that even mean anymore? What is a
Yeah.
snowflake, bro? Like, does it
Like
mean anything
they're
these
they're the
days?
biggest snowflakes if I ask them to return to the kitchen and get rid of the 19th Amendment.
That's where the knives are. That's a terrible idea. She will stab you.
No, it's not a terrible idea. It's a terrible idea for her. Yeah, like the point
I've
is like this is
noticed.
why like conservative women are so undateable. Like they're such big drama queens too. Like if
Yeah.
you notice that.
You know, take take the archetypal. What's her name? Lauren Boebert or something.
Oh yeah, Lauren Boebert. She
Always
recently was
causing
in
drama.
some sort of scandal. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's not married. How old is she? She's not married. Red flag.
Wasn't she dating some guy or something like that or
Yes. She's
yeah,
dating a
but
guy.
her boyfriend's some sort of a soy boy.
Yeah, so she is dating a guy. How
Uh,
she's like
and
37
we're
and
talking
not
about the
married.
guy she was in the
Red
movie theater
flag.
with, right? She was
Red
like
flag.
vaping or
Red
something.
flag, people.
Yeah.
Big red
Oh,
flag.
Nikki Haley. Oh, she's a total feminist, and her husband is a soy cuck.
Yeah.
Like her husband
So going
literally changed his name to Michael because his full name is William Michael Haley.
ooh,
Wait, I think is
ooh,
I wonder if Haley is his real last name. I wonder if he took Nikki Haley's.
I
Her
simps
Nikki Haley's husband
afoot.
is a total simp, and a lot of these so-called conservative women, like I've seen a lot of their manly dudes they date, and sure, sure they might be good at something like maybe some plumbing, fixing a car. That's awesome. That's great. But when it comes to actually like being like the boss, they're not. Like, they're not actually the boss of the house.
It's
But I
it
thought
ties
these
into
women were
a wider
conservative, and a lot of
thing.
these women they will emotionally manipulate these dudes too. Yeah.
It's like the simp issue.
Yeah.
It goes both ways.
But here's the thing though, like Republican women, conservative women, if your man is, like acting in a way that you think is not manly, well, encourage him to be manly. Now,
Hmm.
but here's the thing though, like a lot of these women, like they'll be like, well, they'll do the tough love treatment, and it backfires actually, because he might become an alpha male, but not with you.
Hmm.
He'll become an alpha. He'll get out of the beta male phase, but first when you're gone, then he'll like
Yeah.
start transforming his life, and he won't need you anymore.
Yep. Stop. So women,
And here's the thing,
stop.
his girlfriend could be some kind of lefty too, some lefty libtard.
Mhm. Women, stop thinking that your man has to agree with you politically because do you know who agrees with you politically? A lesbian. A lesbian with bipolar
Yeah.
disorder. Okay?
The only exception I'll make is like don't date a guy like Destiny.
Dude,
Yeah, like if a guy is like okay, if a guy is trying to be polyamorous, okay, dump that dude. Like that guy deserves to be dumped. I understand it, right?
you know how
Yeah.
you just mentioned like the detransitioning people? Every time I see that, I feel like sorrow for them. Like you poor soul. I don't feel malice. I feel like that sucks that you went through that, right?
Yeah.
Destiny, I only feel malice towards. I see what happened. I only feel malice towards him. He completely deserved that. Everyone called that,
Yeah.
and it's just you know.
Yeah. Yeah, if your man is like forcing you to do that, yeah, you should not be with that type of person. Like let them know that yeah, like you're worth a lot more than like being passed around like cattle.
Yeah, and
But
bros,
at the same time, like
don't do it.
Republican women, like if you are conservative, you'll actually probably, not go out and vote. Because if you are conservative, if you are a traditional woman, you don't need voting rights.
No, no, no. They'll go out and vote. They'll vote as much as they can to get rid of that voting.
Oh, okay. True. Y
See,
yes,
see,
vote. So women, so conservative Republican women, if you are truly conservative, as you claim to be, you'll go out and vote for repeal of the 19th Amendment.
conservative women are not conservative; they're neoconservative. And so they see something like veiling, which
Yeah.
is a
Well,
wonderful,
yeah.
beautiful, perhaps the best thing ever. They see that and they're like, I'm not going to submit to God. That's because you got daddy issues. That's because you got daddy issues. Submit to God
Well,
or whoever.
they won't necessarily view that as like they're not against submitting to God. They're just against submitting to man.
They're against submitting to God because God says to submit to man.
Okay,
There's
okay, I get
there is
that.
a
Yeah,
hierarchy.
yeah. But that's not how they view it, unfortunately. Like they'll like
Yes.
again, like they view the whole marriage thing as a team.
Yes.
And I mean it's a team, but there's still a leader in this team. And
Yeah.
uh and a lot of conservative women, American conservative women, they don't understand that. First thing, even if you as a man, like let's say you're struggling to help and provide, right? If your woman is conservative, if she truly is conservative, she's not going to like resent you for not being able to.
Yeah. Yeah.
She'll
That's
and she'll encourage you. She'll
mhm.
inspire you. Now, inspiration and encouragement does not come, oh yeah, well, how come you're not like a John over there? He's providing for for his family, and it's like, well, I'm trying my best here, right? And if
Mhm.
you're a conservative woman, you're not going to be a nagging woman. And a lot of conservative women are such big naggers, like they nag a
Mhm.
lot.
Mhm. Yeah.
South Park reference.
And I
Yeah,
think a large um not the sole cause, but one part of that is um country culture, right? A lot of white Americans, for lack of a better term, right, tend to be very like country culture, right? That's their culture. Like I myself included, I grew up,
more like
you know,
country LARPing.
yeah, yeah. I mean, onto that later, but like I totally get it. You know, that's the culture of rural America, which makes up the majority of conservatism. And even the people who grew up in metropolitan areas who consider themselves conservative, or they still believe in that like country rural culture. But I've noticed a lot of it has become like ghettoized. Country music is about sex, drugs, fast trucks, fast big trucks, and acting like they're really religious. They're
Yeah.
not. Gangster rap, actually
Oh,
like the old gangster
well,
rap.
you know it's really cringe. You bring that up. You know you know that song. Well, I'm a redneck woman. I ain't no high class broad.
Is that Shania Twain?
I don't
No, that's
remember.
not.
I don't remember,
Yeah,
but like
I know the one you're talking
yeah,
about.
but
Yeah.
that song is so cringe. And basically that song is sung by conservative women. But when we say conservative women, we know they're not really conservative. But like that
Hmm.
song is so feminist. Well, I'm thinking like being a just because you're a redneck does not mean you should not strive for perfection, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the term redneck started as a slur and it's still a slur.
yeah,
You guys don't have the cultural power to do what African Americans did with their slur. I'll be real with you. Stop. Stop. All right, stop calling yourself a redneck. Find a better word.
yeah. Well, the thing is, like, I still think it's like kind of interesting how like a lot of conservative women will listen to that disgusting country song, and they'll claim to be conservative.
Hmm. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and like because
But
if you're a conservative woman, you're humble, you're a lady.
mhm,
You're an actual lady. You're not some sort of ghetto woman. Like even if you are poor, even if you're
mhm.
poor, that's not an excuse to be ghetto.
Yeah, you can be if I was talking with my sister about the distinction. You can be there's two types of people with no money. There's poor people and broke people. Broke people have class. Poor people do not have class. Don't be and the thing is because so many of people of the rural culture or the wannabe rural culture because like you can't really tell these days they associate that conservatism with like this ghetto redneckism. But if you ask an American conservative, what's conservatism? They'll say, with the Constitution. It's like, dude, what does that
The
even mean?
Constitution is extremely liberal.
Yeah, like what do you mean the Constitution? Because I mean, yeah, we can go there. It's like people, it's a failed document. Like, I'm sorry, it's hit its expiration point to where
Yeah.
it the and this is I don't say this in like a revolutionary way, but I say this as like a what's the thing that doctors do? Prognosis,
Okay, yeah.
diagnosis, or whatever,
Yeah.
right? I say this from like a medical examination to a sick patient. The many of the rights afforded by the Constitution are protecting people who intentionally seek to destroy the Constitution, and that's because we have gone from a country that I will play devil's advocate. I will assume, perhaps, wrongly, the best intentions from the founding fathers. And I don't mean this as in how conservatives will see like AOC or Ilhan Omar, where they'll see her doing something they don't like and they're like, she's just so stupid. Doesn't she know that's not going to help America? No, they think they're helping the country, right? I'm talking about people who 100% have malice
Hmm.
towards America and the American people. And they are given power, political power, guaranteed by the Constitution. It is a self
Yeah.
devouring document
Well,
at this
like
point.
what's interesting is that the Constitution gave the people who voted in for AOC, the Constitution gave those people power.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
we could make fun of AOC all we want, but it
mhm,
was the Constitution that allowed AOC to get where she is. So like what is so conservative and so powerful about the Constitution? The Constitution is basically like it's created in a style just like a Protestant style of sola scriptura. Basically, the Bible is a
yeah.
self-interpreting book, right? Well, so the Constitution is basically a self-interpreting document. Anyone can interpret whatever they think it is. That is why
Hmm.
liberals, that's why libtards, they interpret the Second Amendment the way they interpret it. They view the word militia as the military. I
Hmm.
mean,
And
we know that's not just the military, but that's how they view it because it's a sola scriptura style approach to creating this document.
mhm, oh, absolutely. And you find the arguments, if you talk to a constitutionalist who, they have the best intentions, the worst like understanding of the world is the thing. If you talk to a constitutionalist about why the country is the state it is, you will hear the exact same thing that a communist will say about why communism constantly fails. Well,
It's not
the
real
idea isn't the
communism.
problem. Yeah, it's not the real constitution. The idea isn't the problem. The people is the problem. So,
They'll say it's the people not following the Constitution, right? That's the
yeah, they're
problem.
not following it pure enough. That's the thing. Like the constitutionalists are as ardent
Okay,
as like
well, it was
Marxists.
the Constitution that gave us the 19th Amendment, and then because of women voting, we've had a bunch of crappy laws.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the angry moms who actually are scared about the school shootings. They're the ones who are trying to take away our gun rights.
But like, I angry moms. I get it. You have a right to be unhappy. Everyone has a right to be unhappy, right? But don't vote. Please stop voting. Like,
Yeah. If you do vote, just vote for the repeal of the 19th Amendment. That'll be like your last
yeah.
privilege. Like your last
Like,
voting privilege in your life would be that, you know? Are not sorry, American conservative women, they're not
yes.
conservatives. What are you conserving? Like
That's a
basically
wonderful question.
you accept Skittle rainbow flag Republicans into your party. So what are you
Hmm.
conservative? What are you conserving? Like you don't you like basically some of you Republican women are even female pastors. Like some of you
Oh,
believe you have the right to speak in church. You're not conservative. Get out of here with this
oh,
BS. You're not conservative.
oh. Female pastors. What is this?
Yeah, no,
Sweden?
but seriously, a lot of these female pastors, they're not actually like libtards. They're actually Republican conservative women. Some of them are MAGA,
Hmm.
and there's a photograph of pastors praying for Donald Trump, and some of them are women. Yeah, I know. Heard of women in America who claim to be pro-life. If you're so pro-life, how come a lot of you oppose the death penalty for women who commit abortions?
Ooh, spicy.
Well, that's not spicy.
Ooh,
That's
spicy.
just being a normal conservative. If you're a conservative, and not just for the women, but for the man, if he knew about it, like if he went with it, if he's cool with it, get
Hmm.
him too. Get him too.
Well, I guess I
The
mean
doctors and the
I
nurses
advocate
too.
for I advocate for witch burning, so like I actually that's actually not that spicy. Come to think of it.
What's interesting, no, but what's interesting is that like a lot of the like National Right to Life organization, like they're more about stopping abortion in small increments. And
Hmm.
it's like, don't blame the woman. She's in distress, right? And I'm thinking, okay, so conservative women like they want to like blame the woman. Let's say if the child is already born, but they don't want to blame
Hmm.
the woman if the child is in the womb, right? And I'm thinking she could still make conscious decisions, you know? Like I get like biologically pregnant women, they do act a little bit abnormal sometimes, but still like they have the
Yeah,
ability to make
but
decisions. You know, they could drive cars. Many of them still drive cars. Many of them still go
yeah,
to
like
work. They go to work like normal, right? So they're able to have normal cognitive abilities. So therefore, yes, they're fully responsible if they commit abortion. So they should be punished, should be thrown in jail. So.
yes, here's how I
Yeah.
view it. If
If you're
someone is
so
legally
if you're not supporting my position on this, you are not a conservative woman. Republican
if
women, you are not conservatives.
here's a great way to look at it. If someone is legally responsible for what they do while drunk, they're legally responsible for what they do while they're pregnant. It
Exactly.
just
Yeah.
it like that's not a huge leap of logic, right?
Yeah.
She
No,
wasn't thinking right
know
because
what?
she was pregnant.
You know what? Like, well, if that's the case, a person who's drunk is less responsible than a person who's pregnant.
That Ooh, that is true. Honestly, yeah,
Yeah.
it's that's one of those like, look, you should be more responsible because you have a child in you,
Yes.
dude. Like,
Yeah.
damn, people, why
Yeah.
y'all like that?
Yeah. Like, you know, we are not Protestants, but there's a famous Protestant, Jeff Durbin. He's the one out there trying to push legislation in different states about, you know,
Hmm.
actually punishing both the doctor and the woman and the man if he knew about it or if he's for it. And
Hmm.
so many so-called Christian conservative women here in America are like shocked and
Hmm.
baffled. How could you be so cruel? And Jeff Durbin is wondering, wait, are you guys really Christians? You know, like basically this is murder that's being committed here. Like
Hmm.
you throw murderers in prison for life. And then when it comes to abortion, oh, the woman, she's in distress. So many people murder other people because they're in distress, because, you know,
Yeah.
they go through some, like, they get fired from work. They freak out. They have a mental breakdown and they commit
Hmm.
murder.
Yeah.
That is
That's
never
that's
used,
what I would.
like, they're still
That's
thrown
like
in prison. Like,
most
that's not used
murders.
as an excuse to get out of jail. They're still thrown into prison. Yet when
Hmm.
it comes to abortion, for some reason, oh, the woman, she's in distress. We must be compassionate towards her. Okay, you're not conservative then. You're not a conservative person. So,
Like,
yes, so
there's
conservative
time
women,
for
stop being
compassion.
toxic and stop claiming to be conservative. You are not
Yes,
conservative.
there's times for compassion. There are plenty of times for compassion.
Oh, yes.
This is not one. This is a time to like step in, pat, pat, calm down,
Yeah.
take a deep breath. Like what would Jesus do? Not that. Totally
Exactly.
not that.
It's one of those few things where Jesus definitely does not look kindly upon. And
Yeah,
yeah, and like that thing, he
yeah.
definitely does not look kindly on that. And
Jesus
so,
is not big child
yeah,
sacrifice, yo.
yes. So basically, like not a spy, you agree that if people don't support, you know, our points of view, like if they're not right wing like us, if they believe libtards have equal rights, if they believe that Democrats should have First Amendment rights, if they believe that Democrats should have the right to run for office, if they believe in this, they're not conservative. Would you agree? Like if you
Yeah,
believe,
I would agree
yeah,
that they're not conservative. They're liberal. They're liberal, and conservatives, not actual conservatives, but like the conservatives need to come to terms with the fact that it's not cool to advocate for people who hate you. I don't when I say I don't understand where it comes from. I know I understand where it comes from, right? But like I am confused as to how this idea is still around for so long. But ladies, stop like looking at you. Stop making simps, all right?
at the ladies,
Ladies, you're
you're looking
making
at the
simps.
ladies. Yeah.
Yes, I'm looking at the ladies. Ladies, you're making simps. You do not want simps. You think you do because you like men written by women. You don't. Stop lying to yourselves, okay? Like, stop making simps. And guys, stop allowing yourselves to be turned into simps. Have some self respect. Men have self respect. If there's two things for everyone to take away, men have self respect, women have reasonable standards.
Or
Beat him if
just admit that you're a liberal.
yeah, beat
Yeah,
him if he's
or
a chud
just
loser.
admit
That's
you're
fine.
90s liberal, you're not conservative. Just admit that you're going the speed limit. When extreme liberals are going 150 miles an hour, you're going 120. When the
Yep.
extreme liberals, if they go 200, you'll go 150. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
If if she tries really hard to make you think she's based and conservative, run away.
Okay. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Um, So don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Please share this video with your friends. Also, go to the merch page, support the channel, buy our merch. We have some brand new merch there.
Ooh.
Um, well, I think we promoted it in a previous video. But yeah. If you guys go to the link in the description below, you guys will have access to the merch. So click on the link. It's on Teespring. So
Mhm.
support the channel, guys. We truly need your help. And like I mentioned before, like, share, subscribe, and God bless.
Take care, everyone.